Tonight, Scotland on a global stage.
Live from the heart of Washington, D.C., the FIFA World Cup 2026 final draw.
The World Cup draw is underway. We'll find out which countries Scotland will play in next summer's tournament.
And here in Washington, D.C., after almost 3 decades, we're waiting to see who we'll face. Brazil, Argentina, or maybe even the old enemy.
We're live inside the Kennedy Centre where Scotland are about to discover their World Cup fate. Global superstars aplenty here in this iconic venue, including President Trump, as Scotland gets set to return to the grandest stage of them all.
Meanwhile, back in Scotland, we're all in the tartan army now. Across the country, fans are watching and waiting, ready to book a flight to North America in June.
You don't get to choose where Scotland play, and you have to look out the passport, book the flights and go there.
I'm John Mackay in the studio.
And I'm Rahman Bardwaj. This is the STV News at 6, live from Washington, D.C.
Good evening. Almost 3 decades in the making, Scotland should know which countries we'll face in next summer's World Cup. The draw is already underway in Washington, D.C. with all the razzmatazz you'd expect. Scotland secured a place after that spectacular victory over Denmark at Hampden last month. So, an anxious wait right now for Stevie Clarke and his men, waiting to find out who they'll play at the tournament. And also for STV's Rahman and Ronnie, both in a snowy Washington, D.C. following the draw.
A very good evening from Washington. Well, after all of the build-up, the World Cup draw has begun and Scotland are just minutes away from learning who they'll face at next year's tournament. And it'll be the biggest World Cup ever, expanded from 32 teams to 48 teams. Now there will be 12 groups, each group consisting of 4 countries. The top 2 teams in each group qualify to the knockout stages, as do the 8 best third-place teams. Now, in terms of the draw, there are 4 pots. Scotland are in pot 3. All of the home nations are in pot 1. The USA, Canada and Mexico, and they've already been allocated their pots. Group A for Mexico, Group B for Canada and Group D for the United States of America. Well, the draw is taking place here at the city's iconic Kennedy Centre. Another one to miss out on an invitation to the red carpet. Ronnie Charters is there for us. Of course he's there for us. Ronnie.
I had to be, Rahman. I had to be, didn't I? And what an occasion it is here inside the Kennedy Centre. The world's media have assembled, global superstars aplenty, and the draw, as you mentioned, is underway. We're obviously a bit behind, these draws tend to be, but what an occasion it is, what an atmosphere it is. As you can hear music playing behind us as well as this draw continues and we count down to Scotland, finding out who we will face. Donald Trump, a man synonymous with Scotland, of course. He was front and centre of the draw earlier. He was awarded the inaugural Peace Prize from FIFA President Gianni Infantino, and he addressed the Kennedy Centre a few moments ago. Let's hear what President Trump had to say.
It's such an honor to be with Johnny. I've known Johnny for so long. He's done such an incredible job. And I have to tell you, you've set new records on ticket sales. And not to bring that up, because we don't want to bring a thing like that up right now, but it's an awfully nice tribute to you and to the game of football, or as we call it, soccer, but football. And that is an amazing thing. The numbers are beyond any numbers that anybody, even beyond what Johnny thought was possible.
What an evening it is turning out to be. So here's the state of play. We are currently awaiting the rest of pot 1, the top seeds, as you were just describing there, Rahman, to be drawn out of the hat. Then we go to pot 2 and then all eyes on pot 3. That is Scotland's group. That's when we'll determine and we'll get to find out where we'll be playing and who we will be playing. The atmosphere is incredible here. I keep saying it, but it's very, very true. Scotland are back on this big stage and it's beginning to feel very real. So we will keep you up to date here inside the Kennedy Centre with all the very latest. But right now, back to you, Rahman.
Ronnie Chatters at the Kennedy Centre, thanks very much for that. Well, the ceremony got underway around 5 o'clock UK time, hosted by Kevin Hart and Heidi Klum. The great and the good of showbiz, sport and politics are there, as Gordon Cree now reports.
Since this moment 2.5 weeks ago, Scotland fans have been waiting for this one.
Live from the heart of Washington, D.C., the FIFA World Cup 2026 final draw.
Hello.
Draws come with possibility and jeopardy. Our last World Cup saw one of the toughest opponents of all.
So Scotland go into position 2 with Brazil.
That must have just been huge. Oh, it was an incredible thing.
Martin was there. The memory is now 27 years old.
Driving around France from city to city, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the camaraderie, enjoying the relationship with the locals and our opponents everywhere we went. We had such a wonderful time there.
2026 will be much more expensive and logistically much harder.
I'm cursed of having been a Scotland fan since I was born, and I can't miss a game. We've played in some unsavoury and unwelcome places in my travelling history, but you don't get to choose for Scotland play, and you have to look out the passport, book the flights and go there.
For his son Aidan, a first World Cup.
I do believe that there is a certain desperation to get to a game like this because it is the first in such a long time. No, I think this will hopefully become a much more frequent thing.
Travel agents say they've already had people booking stateside trips keen to be part of the atmosphere without even knowing the cities or opponents on Scotland's schedule. Like the draw, Edinburgh's Royal Mile brings together nations from around the world.
Do you think Scotland and the Scotland fans will get a good welcome in the United States?
Oh, of course,
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
What is it you like about the Scots?
Everything. Everything. Food, culture, sports.
So you'd be happy for us to bring a bit of that over next summer?
And kick our ass, yes.
Perfect. Not sure whether we can say that or not, but
kick our butt, yes.
You won't be going to the World Cup for your honeymoon?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, well, congratulations anyway. Thank you. Do you want people you think we could beat?
Brazil! No, we can beat them. Of course we can. We've got this far.
Absolutely.
We can do it again.
Gordon Cree, STV News, Edinburgh.
Well, Scotland fans all over the globe will be tuned to their TV screens, be it at home, be it at work, or maybe even in a pub. And that's exactly where Lewis Mickey is in Edinburgh. Lewis.
So many of the people here weren't even born last time that Scotland were in the World Cup, and they're having to be pretty patient waiting to see who we're going to be playing this time. A few shouts of hurry up, get on with it, that sort of thing, but that's giving people plenty of time to try and look on how they might manage to get themselves to North America next summer to see the games. I've been doing a bit of a straw poll, trying to find out exactly what people would like to see from the draw. In pot one, it's a little bit of a mix. Do we want to see one of the hosts? Do we want a glamour tie, Argentina, Brazil? But everybody, pretty much consensus, saying that they want to see in those other two games some winnable ties. The one bit of consensus, I will say, Rahman, I don't think there's many people that fancy a game with England in this group. Rahman.
Lewis in Edinburgh, thanks very much for that. Well, that is all from me here from Washington, D.C. for the moment, but we will return with the very latest on the World Cup draw for 2026 very soon. But for the time being, John is back to you in the studio.
We'll see you shortly, Rahman. Thank you. Let's get the rest of today's STV News now. Charities say more bold action is still needed to tackle child poverty after the UK government published its strategy to help families. Currently, around 1 in 4 children in Scotland is living in poverty. One of the key measures in the strategy is lifting the 2-child benefit cap, which ministers say will affect 95,000 children here from next April. Here's our political correspondent, Ewan Petrie.
After her son Lewis was born, Caris came to rely on this charity for support.
Child benefit is great, but it's not a lot. It doesn't make you rich or anything. It means that you've got enough to feed their bellies and, you know, buy them the odd thing that they need. So that's where 3Ds really helped us. They were able to help give us vouchers when we needed it.
Presents are beginning to pile up as this year's toy drive gets into full swing here. Scrapping the two-child benefit cap will help many families who rely on this service.
It's when they see if it's going to make any difference to them financially. I think that will be the true test come April. You know, if the cap does make improvements, it might take a while for them to see differences. But I think the whole point of this time of year is for us to really try and break down the stigma. You know, people don't have to worry about approaching us if they're struggling.
The UK government has come under sustained pressure to scrap the limit ahead of the announcement in the budget last week.
This government is very open to challenge.
Some of those urging them to act sooner met with the Scotland Office Minister this morning as the UK government published its child poverty strategy.
It'll be almost 2 years by the time it's actually scrapped by next April that you will have been in power.
We've made a decision, I say, that will have more impact on child poverty than any other decision made this century. We've done it within 18 months of coming in. We've also taken a huge number of other actions immediately to improve the state of family finances. We did have to work out how and whether we could pay for this. We've made that choice. We've made decisions that we can pay for it and that it will be sustainable, whilst also maintaining the state of the public finances and stability in the economy.
They've essentially got rid of something that frankly should have been binned a long time ago. So we would like to see them do more around supporting people into work, keeping house costs down. For example, they've frozen housing benefit again. That's something that has been stuck for an awful long time. That causes poverty too. Again, government policy causing poverty, things that they can and should change.
The Scottish Government says poverty rates here have only fallen because of measures including the Scottish Child Payment. Attention now shifts to what it will do to support families when it announces its budget in January. Ewan Petrie, STV News.
The Crown Office and Procurator Fiscal Service are to consider if a sentence handed down to a child abuser was unduly lenient. Patricia Baxter was found guilty of 18 counts of abusing children in her care at Fornethy House in Angus during the 1960s, 70s and 80s. But due to factors including her age, was given a probationary sentence rather than being sent to prison. The Crown Office say, however, the law only allows appeal in very rare circumstances. A man has died and 3 others are in hospital following a disturbance in Glasgow. Barclay Street near the city centre's Charing Cross was cordoned off following the incident just before 7 this morning. Police say the death has been treated as unexplained, while the 3 others suffer from non-life-threatening injuries. As Glasgow marks its 850th anniversary, rare pictures and paintings from the city's past are on show at the Hunterian Art Gallery. It's a collaboration with curators from the Woodland Community Trust, whose local knowledge is helping. Raheem Cham has more.
Stories of a city shaped by industries, communities and events. Views of Glasgow is an exhibition at the Hunterian Art Gallery, a collaboration between curators exploring themes of urban transformation, inequality and collective resilience.
We wanted to make an exhibition that really told a story about people and the ownership of space that people have and the way that communities come together to kind of take ownership of space in interesting ways. We also spoke a lot about industrialization and the way that the city has changed and kind of how that's created a kind of precarity for communities in Glasgow as well.
One section of the exhibition focuses on a defiant Glasgow. This photograph captures the 1967 protest to save the Venny Playground in the Gorbals.
So this is an archival photo of some children protesting because their playground was about to be demolished and they really, really wanted to keep their playground. And so they made placards and they took to the street to try and protest and let people know that they needed to keep their playground.
The co-curators also highlight Glasgow's early multicultural communities, including the International Flat in the West End, run by Church of Scotland missionary Stella Reiki.
It was a very welcoming community space which allowed people to come together in many different ways. There was coffee mornings, there were music evenings, there were craft happenings, but it helped people, particularly from a South Asian background.
Among Glasgow's famous industries was St. Rolloch's Chemical Works, once home to the tallest chimney in Europe.
They both capture the issue that has been connected to Glasgow from the 18th century onwards, which is pollution. It's particularly relevant for the east end of Glasgow. The reason that the chimney was so high actually is because they were dealing with sulphur and bleach. It's only now starting to recover from the effect of pollution after 200 years of industrialization.
Together, these stories trace a city continually reinventing itself, shaped by its people, its struggles, and its enduring spirit. Raheem Cham, STV News, Glasgow.
We're keeping an eye on that World Cup draw in Washington, D.C, and we'll be back there soon. But there's one other big sports story today. Celtic's new manager has been speaking to the media for the first time. Jamie Borthwick can tell us more.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Christmas Sale.
He's a coach who loves attacking football, and as the new Celtic manager, Wilfried Nancy, got a closer look at his players on the training ground this morning, he believes this could be the perfect match.
It's not a secret regarding Celtic, the way they play. So I think that if we work together, it's because they want to play in a certain way. So play offensive football, but what does it mean, offensive football? This is more about everybody wants to score goals and so on, but for me this is about proactivity. This is about try to put doubt on the opposition, try to attack the ball as soon as possible, and after that also be disgusting to play against.
Celtic refound their winning knack under interim boss Martin O'Neill, and while Nancy has a strong sense of the style he wants, it won't be an overnight revolution.
The team is in good momentum, good form, and you know, he said he doesn't want to change too much too quickly, so hopefully just over time we'll start to add and layer up what we've already been doing, and he can drip feed his ideas in as well, but ultimately the most important thing is winning games.
Nancy is aware that Celtic requires unity after a season marked with acrimony between the club and fans. His aim as manager is simple.
To bring joy with the way we're going to play and the result that we're going to have. This is the only thing that I can control. And after that, this is something that we're going to try to control. And after that, like I said, I cannot do anything. So I am aware about this, but the idea is to connect. We have a value that is really important for me, is we, not me. We, not me.
And there's no time to lose as the Wilfried Nancy era at Celtic begins with a top-of-the-table clash at home to Hearts on Sunday. Jamie Borthwick, STV Sport.
STV Sport, sponsored by the C.R. Smith Christmas Sale.
We'll be back in Washington soon for the draw, but first, Sean is here for an early weather forecast.
A bit cold and wintry there just now. We won't expect that in June, but I thought tonight we'd have a look at some of the potential places we might be playing and the sort of weather we'd expect in June. Vancouver actually not too dissimilar to home. Parts of Mexico actually wetter than Glasgow in June. It is the rainy season, but very hot. Florida, you get some big thunderstorms. One thing to note as well is the official start of the hurricane season is the 1st of June. Chances of getting one of those, though, very, very low. The addition you've got with Mexico City is the altitude. It's about 1,000 metres even higher than the top of Ben Nevis, so that's not too great for training, but some big thunderstorms possible further south. But for us, let's look at the forecast for this weekend.
Wet by the coast, with a high chance of sun and splashing. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Well, here at home, things are looking quite damp over the next couple of days. Two main areas of rain to come through this weekend. One tonight, then also another one on Sunday. Sunday's rain does look as if it will be quite heavy and not great for heading out there tonight. Hopefully you get to stay in and stay cosy. Got this weather front coming through on Sunday. That's the one that's going to bring us the heavier rain, so not a great end to the weekend. But as I say, hopefully you can stay indoors tonight because it's just going to be pretty horrible out there. We're going to have some heavy bursts of rain through much of the evening, overnight. A little bit of snow perhaps up over the tops of the Kilpatrick's, Campsies, the southern end of the Grampians tonight, over the very tops of the hills. No snow at lower levels, but look at the temperatures. We're 4 or 5. OK, that means we're not going to get a frost, but given the fact you've got that rain, you've got the wind going through during tonight, yeah, it's going to feel pretty horrible if you do have to head out and about. Now, tomorrow morning, we start the day with a lot of clouds, still some showery outbreaks of rain. It should turn a wee bit drier and brighter in some spots late morning, early afternoon, especially across lights of Glasgow, North and South Lanarkshire, the borders, Dumfries and Galloway. But we will hang on to a good number of showers across the Highlands, Argyll and Butte, so staying largely cloudy here. And during the afternoon, if you're heading out into Glasgow, then we will see some showers coming back in later on. Highs up to about 8, maybe 10 degrees, Girvan and Ayr. Sunday, though, we see that heavy rain coming in, but turning a bit lighter later on in the day. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
With the festive countdown on to Christmas Eve, a merry band of elves have been hard at work, lending the Royal Mail a helping hand to sort through all those letters to Santa. Hundreds of thousands of letters have been arriving in Edinburgh, ready to be sent to the North Pole, as Laura Piper reports.
This is a very special delivery, the latest arrival of letters to Santa, posted by children from across the country, with a little help along the way. These letters will now be sorted by a team of elves, helping Santa work out who has been naughty and who has been nice.
I haven't seen too many naughty now, to be honest, but no, all the kids are definitely on the nice list, and they're all asking for so many different types of things. It's great to see.
Loads want pyjamas and slippers to keep warm, so we've got lots of people sewing to get stuff ready for all the children. Lego and bikes and things that have been same sort of things you could have like 20 years ago, so it's great.
We're so proud at Royal Mail to have 60 years worth of helping Santa to get all the letters ready. It's lovely to see them all coming through from the children.
Children who include their own address in their letter can get a reply from Santa too. And this year, British Sign Language letters are also available for the first time.
This is a huge operation for the Royal Mail. Hundreds of thousands of letters arrive here in Edinburgh from across the UK. These letters written by boys and girls all over the country with their lists for Santa.
Every letter that comes through is special, so it's meaningful to every child. So, you know, it gets handled with care and then it gets passed on to Santa to go and do what he needs to do, leading into the big day.
There's still time to get your letter in. If you'd like a reply, you need to have it posted by the 10th of December with a stamp, your full name and address, including your postcode. And the elves promise they'll make sure it reaches Santa in time. Laura Piper, STV News, Edinburgh.
Something not keeping to time is the World Cup draw, but Raman and Ronnie are still over in Washington and will bring us up to date. Let's go to Raman first.
There's a surprise, John, that the World Cup draw is overrunning. We were hoping to get all of the teams from Pot 1 out, the teams from Pot 2 out. None of them have come out apart from the host nations, Canada, the USA and Mexico. They were already predetermined their groups. So, yes, who has taken to the stage? We have Rio Ferdinand, the former England and Manchester United captain. He will be conducting the draw. And just remember, Scotland are in Pot 3. Well, for more on the groups, let's go to Ollie Dickinson, who has more to tell us about the World Cup draw. Ollie.
Well, I tell you what, Raman, you're not wrong. It's not running to time, is it, there with FIFA? So we've had a go ourselves. Let's have a look at what we've drawn up as what could be known as the group of death that no one wants. The holders, Argentina, Morocco, the first African country to make it to a semi-final, and of course the four-time winners, Italy. If Scotland draw that group, that could be, well, let's be honest, a tough one to get out of for Steve Clarke's side. But then there is also the group of hope, as we've called it. We can take a look at that. An opportunity here for Scotland to qualify to the knockout stages. Hosts Canada Australia, Jackson Irvine, the captain there, well known for fans of Scottish football, and debutants Cape Verde. That is the group that Scotland fans will want to see. The draw, I promise, is taking shape. Let's go back to Washington and find out who Scotland will face.
Well, the draw is taking place at the the Kennedy Centre here in Washington. Ronnie Charters, you saw him earlier in the programme. Let's now cross to him once again. Ronnie, what's it like there?
Well, it's really good, Raman, but I would like a wee team or two out of the hat, wouldn't we? We've waited 27 years. I suppose we can wait an extra 15, 20 minutes as well. But it's not just us. I'm looking around at the world's media. Everyone's checking their watches. Everyone's wondering when we're going to get to the all-important World Cup draw. It wouldn't be the Kennedy Centre. It wouldn't be the USA, Canada and Mexico if there wasn't that razzmatazz. And that's exactly what we have. So this is the situation of play. We are currently going through a sort of video montage of the pot 1 teams. That includes, of course, the likes of England, of Brazil, of Argentina. They will be drawn out first. After that point, it'll then proceed to pot 2, where we'll have the likes of Croatia, Morocco in there as well. And then it is us in pot 3. As you can see, Rio Ferdinand and his co-host currently on stage, and we are seeing the pot 1 teams in front of us. And this is where it gets to the nitty-gritty. This is where the Scotland fans will be on the edge of their seat as we begin to see the draw take shape. Of course, added to that, there is that case of every group having the locations attached to it. So for instance, if we are drawn in Group A, we are in the opening game at the Azteca Stadium, that 87,500 capacity stadium, and Scotland would be centre stage. We go all the way through the groups, the bottom group, Group L, we could be in the likes of Toronto, Dallas, Boston, Atlanta, Georgia. So this is where we are, and this is just how incredible the World Cup draw really is. This is being viewed as well, folks, by well over 1 billion people across the globe at the moment. As we mentioned, USA, Canada and Mexico have already been out, and we are now set, Raman, to head back to see where Scotland are going to come.
Yeah, we'd like to know very soon, wouldn't we, Ronnie? Ronnie, give us a flavour of what it's like there. I mean, the SFA are represented by Steve Clarke and Mike Mulroney, the SFA president, and also Chief Executive Ian Maxwell. Have you seen them at the centre?
We saw them on the red carpet arriving. I was expecting maybe to see that Steve Clarke may have been dancing along to some of the entertainment. I don't think that was going to happen. But we are finally underway, Raman. I can tell you that. The draws, it's been a while, but we're finally getting to it. So let's see what the draw is then. Brazil is the first team out of the hat. Carlo Ancelotti's side, Brazil. And let's see if we can see what team Brazil. It wouldn't be great to go back against Brazil, that opening game in 1998. The memories that flood back from that match. Brazil, the first team out of the hat, and once those balls are opened, we'll get to see what group Brazil are in. I think some Scotland fans would maybe like to avoid Brazil if there's a chance of making it through to the next group. But Brazil, the first name out of the hat, apart from the hosts. Germany then, second. Would we take Germany? Probably. We take them in the opening game of the Euros, didn't we? And that didn't work too well. But this will see where we are. And Germany number 2 then. So we are getting through the draw. It's not exactly how quickly we would have liked it. Germany in Group E. That means Germany are going in Group E. Brazil are in Group C. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings you up to date. Then we go to the Netherlands, the next team out of the hat. And we keep going. The Netherlands, of course, the likes of Virgil van Dijk, the former Celtic defender, the captain of their national team. And not a bad draw, I'd imagine, in terms of the pot 1s for the Netherlands. They go into Group F for this one. And we just keep going, don't we? How fantastic is this? The World Cup draw. And it's great that Scotland are finally back at that world stage, isn't it? Everyone, I imagine, at home on tenterhooks to see who it is going to be. Belgium in Group G. That's what we know next. The Belgians in Group G. And we keep going again. Rio Ferdinand taking us through the draw. So many people watching this back home. Isn't it fantastic? So what would we like? We would like Belgium in Group G. Would we like the Group F of the Netherlands, Group E of Germany, Group C of Brazil. The next team out is Group H, and it is Spain, one of the hot favourites to make it all the way and win. So we'll keep it going, Raman. The draw's underway. Back to you.
Ronnie at the Kennedy Centre, thanks very much for that. Well, there you have it, a World Cup draw that has been almost 30 years in the making for Scotland is underway, but we are, as Ronnie's saying, still waiting to learn who Scotland will face. The draw is taking place in Washington DC, a city that is synonymous with history, and certainly Steve Clarke and his players will be aiming to make history at next year's World Cup and to qualify to the knockout stages. From here is bye for now.